Hi everyone, welcome to the Diamond Yoga Stories with me, Megan. A Little Diamond Yoga Stories is all about learning a new story and doing some yoga poses as we go along. So copy the moves that I do and try to have some fun. Okay, let's start off our yoga as we always do by crossing our legs and sitting on our bottoms and bringing our hands to our heart. And after 3 we'll say our yoga hello, namaste. 1, 2, 3, namaste. Well done. Now today our story is about a hyena, so let's go into a hyena pose. We're going to start off on our hands and knees. And then we're going to tuck our toes under and push our bottoms up into the sky. But then we're going to bend our legs, keeping our arms straight, because a hyena has longer front legs than back legs. The hyena in our story is called Harry. Harry lives, let's go into a house pose. Coming to stand with your feet apart, your hands to your heart and take them above your head. Well done. Harry lives in a den. He lives in that den with his sister Hilda, his mummy and his daddy. Harry is a spotted hyena. Come to sitting on your bottoms with your legs out straight in front of you. And then we're going to pat all the way down our legs, showing our spots. Patting down one arm and the other arm. Patting over our tummies and our chest, up to our shoulders. Patting our backs and finally patting our heads. Well done. Then come to sitting on your bottoms with your legs crossed. Now Harry is a spotted hyena, and spotted hyenas make funny sounds. They make sounds that almost sound like laughing. We're going to breathe in through our nose, and we're going to go ha 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 ha. Well done, breathe in. Ha 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 ha, as you breathe out, and again. Ha 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 ha, again. Ha 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 ha. Well done. Now Harry is a very happy hyena and he can often be heard laughing a lot. One morning, Harry is curled up in his bed. Come to lying on your sides and curling up with your eyes closed. Early one morning he opens his eyes. He sits up, coming to sit on your knees. And has a great big stretch, and you might find a yawn too as you stretch your arms up high and out wide. Well done. Then Harry brushes his teeth, bringing your feet out straight in front of you. Lifting up your toothbrush, and then let's brush those teeth. Now, Harry's teeth are very sharp, so sometimes his toothbrush breaks. So let's put that one down and pick up his other toothbrush instead and get brushing with that one. Well done, he brushes his teeth and he gets ready for school. Then he's about to head out the main part of his den to find his mum. Before he goes, he does a bit more laughing, crossing those legs. Let's do 5 of our laughing breaths. Breathing in. Ha 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 ha. And again. Ha 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 ha. 3 more. Ha 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 ha. 2 more. Ha 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 ha. Last one. Ha 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 ha. Well done. As he gets into the main part of the den though, get out your super spectacles because Harry notices that his mum isn't there. His mum is still in bed. Let's go into a bed pose. Coming onto your bottom with your knees bent in front of you and your feet flat on the floor. Take your hands either side of your bottom and then lift up your hips into a bed pose. Fantastic. Bringing those hips down and crossing your legs. Harry's mum is still in bed. because she isn't feeling very well. Harry's mum keeps on sneezing, putting your legs out wide. And we're going to go, bend forward as we go. Shoo! And sitting back up, let's do that again. Bending forward. Shoo! One more time. Bending forwards. Shoo! Oh, hugging your knees. Harry is worried about his mummy. He doesn't like seeing her poorly. She tells him she'll feel better later and that he needs to get off to school. Crossing your legs, taking your arms out wide. Harry agrees, so he wraps her up in a great big cuddle and then heads his way to school. Let's take some big steps as Harry walks to school. Come to standing. We're going to take 6 big steps. 1 foot first, and then take that foot back. And now the other foot. 2, and again swap feet. 3, 4, 5. One more. 6. Well done. On his way to school, Harry notices he doesn't seem to be laughing as much. Onto your bottoms and cross your legs. Let's just do 3 laughing breaths this time. Breathing in. Ha 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 ha. And again. Ha 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 ha. One more. Ha 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 ha. Well done. Harry knows his mom has told him not to worry, but he's laughing a little bit less because he is feeling a little bit worried about his mum. When he gets to school, let's go into a school pose. Come to standing with our feet apart, taking our hands to our heart and above our head. Well done. When Harry gets to school, he keeps quiet about his worries and just decides to get on with his maths work instead. Come onto your bottoms and take your legs out wide. In maths, Harry's been practicing counting in tens. Bending down to one of your feet. We're going to pinch our toes as we try counting in tens too. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Sitting back up and let's bend to our other foot. Try and carry on our counting in tens. Pinching those toes. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And sitting back up. Well done. After maths, it's break time. Harry knows who'll make him feel better. He goes looking, take out your super spectacles, for his best friend, Harriet Hyena. Suddenly he sees her. Let's go back into that hyena pose. Onto our hands and knees first. Tucking under our toes, lifting our bottoms up in the air, and then bending our legs. Harry walks up to Harriet to speak to her and play with her. But Harry notices that Harriet doesn't want to speak to him. Come to sitting on your knees. She doesn't say a word. Breathe in through your nose. And as we breathe out, we're going to go, hush. And again, breathe in through your nose. This time bring your finger to your lips. Hush. Time breathing in. Hush. Well done. Harry, try to think. Rubbing your head. You try to think about what's happened. Why wouldn't Harriet be talking to him? She's his best friend. You can't think of what's happened. Now, onto your bottoms of your knees. Because now, Harry is worried about his mum, and he's worried about Harriet. He doesn't know what to do. Suddenly, break time is over. As Harry heads back into school, come to crossing your legs. He notices that now he is laughing even less. Let's just do 1 laughing breath this time. Breathing in. Ha 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 ha. He's laughing less now because now he's worried about his mum and Harriet. Now he's a little bit more worried. When he goes back into class, Harry decides to keep quiet about his worries and instead gets on with his reading, taking your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching, holding your toes, then sit up nice and straight and turn the pages in your book as he gets on with his reading lesson. Then, still keeping quiet about those worries, he gets on with his writing, taking your legs out straight in front of you, picking up your pencil, and let's get writing with that pencil. Oh, the lead's broken. Swap pencils, pop that pencil down, and pick up your other pencil, and carry on Harry's writing. Fantastic. Now, just before lunch, Harry's teacher tells them all about their homework for tonight. Mrs. Hislop, the hyena teacher, go back into our hyena pose. Onto our hands and knees, tucking under our toes and putting our bottoms in the air and bending our knees. Mrs. Hislop, the hyena, explains that tonight their homework is to read a special part of the class story. And then tomorrow they will have some very special questions to answer about what they have learnt. Coming onto your bottoms and hug your knees. Harry's not sure he can do that. Answering special questions as well to show what he has learnt. Oh no. Now he's worried about his mum. He's worried about Harriet. And he's worried about this homework task and the special questions tomorrow. Oh dear. Poor Harry. At lunchtime, Harry opens his lunchbox, dropping your knees out to the side and putting your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching again, holding onto your toes with both of your hands, bending forward. Fantastic. So at lunchtime, Harry opens his lunchbox, sitting up as he opens his lunchbox. But he notices he's not very hungry. He also notices that he's not laughing anymore. All his laughs have gone. Harry closes his lunchbox again, bending forward without eating anything. Then he heads outside because it's playtime. Instead of playing, he sits on his own in the corner, crossing your legs. He sits there alone and just looks around. Give me a wave with one of your hands. Pop it on your opposite knee, and then look over your shoulder. He looks around, watching the other children in his class play together. And that's the front. Wave me with your other hand. Pop it on your opposite knee, and look over that shoulder. He watches them, hoping it will take his mind off his worries. It doesn't seem to work. Harry still doesn't tell anyone about his worries. Put your fingers together and pop them over your mouth. At lunchtime, Mrs. Hislop, let's go back into that hyena pose. Onto our hands and knees. Tucking under our toes, pushing our bottom in the air, and then bending our knees. At over lunchtime, Mrs. Hislop notices that Harry's very quiet on his own. She also notices that his laughs have gone. She's a little bit worried about him. Coming to sit on your knees. When he comes back inside, Mrs. Hislop speaks to him, rubbing your jaw. She asks him what is wrong. She wants to help him. But Harry still doesn't want to speak. Instead, staying on your knees, he curls himself up in a really small ball, taking your head down to the floor and tucking your arms in at your side. He doesn't want to speak to anyone. He just wants to keep his worries to himself. He doesn't know what to do. Mrs. Hislop asks him to please explain what's wrong, as she really, really wants to help. Then, sitting up, rubbing your ears from the bottom to the top and back down again, Mrs. Hislop hears Harry whisper, "I'm worried." Then, whilst Harry is still curled up in a ball, Mrs. Hislop says, rubbing that jaw again, "Harry, sometimes when we are worried, it makes things better if we share those worries. You share your worries with me. Maybe I can help." Harry, still curled up in his ball, let's go back into that ball shape. Touch the floor, arms by your side. All of a sudden, Harry sits up. He thinks, rubbing your head, about what Mrs. Hislop said. Will he really feel better if he shares his worries? He decides to give it a go. He explains to her how he's worried about his mum being poorly. Onto your bottoms, take your legs out wide in front of you. We're going to do our sneezing again. And then bend forward as we go. Chew! And again. Chew! And one more. Chew! Well done. Then come to crossing your legs. He also explains to her how he's worried about Harriet, his best friend, not talking to him. Breathing in. Finger to your lips and hush. And finally, he explains that he's worried about this reading he needs to do. Take your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching, holding your toes, and then turn the pages in that book. He explains that he's worried about the reading and also worried about those special questions he's got to do the next day. Crossing your legs again. Harry notices something. He notices that after telling Mrs. Hislop about his mum and Harriet and the special questions, he is feeling a little bit better for sharing his worries, but he can still feel some worry in his tummy. Rub your tummy with one hand and in his head, patting your head with the other. Fantastic, then swap your hands. Well done. All of a sudden, Mrs. Hislop pulls Harriet over, back into our hyena pose, onto our hands and knees. Tuck under our toes, bottom in the air, and bend our knees. She calls Harriet over and she speaks with her. Then she finds out, coming onto your bottom, hugging your knees. Mrs. Hislop finds out from Harriet that she's been feeling sad too. And today she just didn't feel like playing with anyone or talking to anyone. That's why she didn't want to play or talk to Harry. Not because he'd done something wrong. Crossing your legs. Harry and Harriet give each other, open your arms out wide, a great big hug. And then both of them start to feel a little bit better. Next, Mrs. Hislop sits with both of them and takes out that class reading book, putting those feet together again, the bottoms are touching, holding those toes and turning the pages. As she reads the pages with those two children and talks about the questions they could be asked, Harry starts to understand it now. Now he's starting to feel better about the questions tomorrow too. Harry heads home. Let's go back into our home pose. Come to standing with our feet apart, hands to our heart and head above our head. As he's heading home, Harry notices he's feeling a lot better than he was, but he is still worried about his mum. Sharing the worries about Harriet and about his homework has really helped, and Mrs. Hislop has helped to fix it. But he's still worried about how his mum might be feeling. When he gets home, bringing your hands down, he opens the door. Come to sitting on your knees, sitting up. Take one leg out to the side, lift up your opposite arm. You open the door really quietly. He doesn't want to wake his mum in case she's sleeping. Well done. Then, bringing that knee back, he closes the door behind him, taking out your other leg and lifting your opposite arm. And he closes it just as quietly. Then he tiptoes into his mum's bedroom. Again, doesn't want to wake her up. When he gets in there, take out your super spectacles. He notices she isn't in there anymore. He goes looking for her. Harry finds his mum in the lounge, and she's feeling so much better after a good day's rest. Take your arms out wide because he is so happy. He gives her a great big hug. Oh, Harry is feeling so much better. He shared his worries and now he knows his mum is better too. Coming onto your bottom and cross your legs. Harry also notices that his laughs are back. Let's do 5 laughing breaths, breathing in through our nose. Ha 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 ha. And again. Ha 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 ha. And again. Ha 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 ha. 2 more. Ha 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 ha. Last one. Ha 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 ha. Fantastic. Harry is feeling so much better as he lays down in his bed. Come to lying on your backs with your legs out straight and your arms by your sides. What a day. Harry was getting very worried throughout the day. First about his mum, then about Harriet, then about the homework and the special questions. He decided not to share his worries at first, thinking that keeping them all locked in, they would just go away. Mrs. Hislop helped Harry learn that sharing our worries can make things seem a little bit better. If we share our worries with other people, they may be able to help us. They won't be able to fix every worry, but there will be some worries they can help with. Remember, when you're worried, speak to someone you trust, and maybe they can help you too. Don't keep it locked in, you'll just feel sad. Sharing those worries can help make things better. Now wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Lift up your knees and give them a hug. We're going to roll onto our sides and push ourselves up onto our bottoms, crossing our legs and bringing our hands to our hearts. And after 3 we'll say our yoga goodbye. Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thanks for joining Little Diamond Yoga Stories today. See you again soon. Bye.